Welcome back. You are listening to the Andrew and Troy Show. Now, joining me on the phone is Mariana Flynn. She is the president of the UFO Research here in New South Wales. It's an organisation that was established in 1991, and its focus is on the research of UFO sightings, also the support of people who report extraterrestrial abduction and their contact. Mariana, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Troy.
How did you get involved in UFO research?
Well, I've always been interested in the pursuit of anything to do with consciousness, anything to do with who are we as human beings, where do we come from, is this all there is? And so in the process of my examinations, explorations, I came across UFO Research New South Wales and the topic of extraterrestrials and what's actually going on this planet sometimes we are not aware of became very intriguing to me.
Yeah,
and so about 8 years ago I became involved, and about 4 years ago I became president. And my role is to invite speakers, interesting speakers that can expand people's minds and awareness. And we run night sky watches, we run weekends away, mostly to Dubbo, and we stay on a property and do night sky watches and CE5s there.
Okay.
And a CE5 is a protocol established by Dr. Stephen Greer in America, and it's a way of connecting or inviting extraterrestrial visitors to come towards us,
Okay.
rather than we waiting for them to appear when they feel like it. It's sort of an invitation. It's saying we're ready and we are happy for you to come.
Okay, on these, so is Dubbo like the epicenter of alien landings in Australia?
Well, Dubbo's part of a sort of extraterrestrial highway, or so we think, between like Mudgee, Dubbo, Dunedoo, all of that area. And I believe partly it could be due to the fact there's a quartz line running under that area, and the UFOs are attracted to quartz.
And in your excursions, have aliens ever visited?
No, not as such, but people have had consciousness experiences, and we have to take note of those as well, where people have had an awareness of actually going out and being on a craft. It doesn't mean that we actually have a physical landing as such necessarily, although we have seen interesting UFOs in terms of flight paths, movements, strange lights, unusual kind of orbits. So the thing is, most people have like an awareness, an awakening or consciousness experience, if you know what I mean.
Now, I have to ask, have you ever had contact? Have you been taken or abducted or whatever? I'm not quite sure what the politically correct term is.
No, I haven't. And it's intriguing that I'm so passionate about the subject when I feel I haven't actually had contact.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm totally convinced, because I also am a hypnotherapist and I regress contactees.
Yeah.
And they tell me, and I experience with them, what they have had happen to them.
And what generally happens to these people?
Well, some of them have actual journeys onto spacecraft.
Yeah.
They could be taken astrally. That means their astral body goes. Their physical body may remain in their beds, but their astral body goes. And what they experience is a variety of procedures. They are also, some of them are medical examinations, obviously.
Yeah.
There are processes where there is a hybrid breeding program occurring, where there's an alien race that is connecting with certain humans, and it seems to follow family lines. So if your grandmother was taken, then possibly you will be taken, your grandchildren will be taken.
Okay, well, just a couple of things there that I've just picked up on. You say procedures. Is that like the whole Hollywood probing thing?
No, it's not. It's not the anal probe nonsense.
Is that all just made up?
Oh, that's exaggeration and hype.
Because I was going to say, this is the gay radio station. I'm sure you might have a few volunteers for that one.
Yes, I might actually.
But and you mentioned a hybrid breeding program. Does that mean aliens are mating with humans?
Yes, well, what they do, it's not quite the way we imagine it. What happens is they may partner a human with another human.
Okay.
And then after that, they will splice their own DNA into the fetus.
Okay.
And then that is implanted back in the woman, and she may retain that for a few weeks to a few months, after which they remove that fetus and it grows further in some sort of a tubal structure on the craft. It is part of a very vast cosmic program, I believe. Most people don't know this is even occurring, but across the world there are reports of people having these experiences. And some actually report meeting hybrid children of theirs on craft.
And is there like physical evidence of this happening, or is it a lot of just
Well, there
hearsay?
are missing pregnancies. I mean, there are people who report being pregnant. The doctor tests them. The ultrasound shows there's a baby there, and then suddenly, say 3 months later, it's gone.
Could medical science explain that, or is it?
They can't explain that.
Wow. And I've also, are there different types or races or species of aliens out there?
Absolutely, absolutely. Vast numbers. We seem to be mainly interacting with probably about 4 groups. You've got your grey alien, your typical slightly egg-shaped with very dark angular eyes.
Okay.
The ones that are often depicted.
Yeah. So Hollywood's got that right.
You've also got your Nordic type, looking very much like the typical Scandinavian.
So could possibly the Scandinavians be hybrids?
Well, who knows? I mean, I wouldn't like to make that statement. But, the thing is, I mean, what I'm beginning to understand is that we have been seeded on this planet. I mean, we haven't evolved as such, I believe, from some fish in some ocean. We are assisted with our development and evolution by various extraterrestrial races who watch over us.
Okay, so we're not evolution from single-cell organisms, but
we may have been to begin with, but over thousands of years, every so often, we are intervened. Our progress is intervened with or interfered with in order to possibly accelerate our development.
So it could be the aliens that are helping us with that. So if they are helping us with that, why aren't they here in more of a physical... why aren't they here ruling us, if that is a possibility?
Why aren't they here? Well, the thing is, first of all, I mean, my belief, and look, I may be wrong. I'm not saying I have the answers to everything. This is just sort of my current viewpoint, is that if they are interacting with us on a fairly large scale, it would be better for us to be able to carry on our normal day-to-day life without having their presence disrupting our life. I think they don't want to disrupt us.
Okay.
They want us to carry on with our normal life, and by the way, a few of us are being contacted and are part of a program.
So are we essentially, is the human race essentially like an ant farm for the alien races?
Like a what, sorry?
Like an ant farm or, a jar of sea monkeys.
Well, you could say that in a way, but it's more sophisticated than that.
Okay.
And I do also believe, from what I've done, because I speak to contactees and I'm a hypnotherapist, and so I work with some of them.
Yeah.
What they say to me is they believe there's a contract, and before we are born, or perhaps on some level, we commit to the contract of working with these extraterrestrials. It's not hit and miss.
Okay. And with these people who have been abducted or taken or whatever, why don't some of them just stay? Would it be better for them to stay with the aliens, or do they have a choice in the matter, or wouldn't it be a better life to stay with them if they're so far advanced?
Well, in some cases, we can't live in their atmosphere. That's what I'm told.
Okay. So how do we breathe while we're there? Are we...
Well, obviously... I'm not sure, to be honest, but there are rooms that the humans are taken into that are obviously where they're able to breathe.
Okay.
But long term, it seems we can't live with them. And the same with the hybrid children. The hybrid children cannot come and live on Earth at the moment, although there might be a program happening without us knowing where they infiltrate them into human society.
Okay.
I know
Wow.
it sounds very strange and far-fetched, and I don't expect people necessarily to believe this.
No,
But that there is a program happening, and we have to, because there are thousands of people mentioning this,
yeah.
we have to accept that there's something going on.
Well, I guess it's that old saying, I want to believe. I'm sure that goes for a lot of people.
Mm.
And what should someone do if they are abducted or contacted by an extraterrestrial?
What should they do? Do you mean, in what way do you mean?
Well,
what should they do?
Should they call the police? Should they contact you? Or
No, they contact us. They contact me through, my email is sydneyufo@gmail.com, and I can certainly talk to them and we can discuss it, and if they wish to have any of their memories, what would you say, accessed, because sometimes you don't remember. You only remember part of what happened. You don't remember all of it.
Okay.
And so there is a possibility through hypnosis regression of accessing some of the other memories.
And how often are people abducted here in Australia or New South Wales?
We don't know, to be honest. I think we only know the tip of the iceberg. Many people don't want to talk about it. They're very self-conscious about it. They've been ridiculed by family and friends. They've been told they're nut jobs. And so what they tend to do is keep quiet about it.
Yeah. And
generally, I think that's what people do. We only have some that come forward and speak.
Of course. And how right has Hollywood got it?
Oh, it's so exaggerated. I mean, the fear and gloom and doom, I think, is beyond belief. Well, you know, all the terrorizing aliens that come down and eat us and you know, traumatize us and beat us up. I really don't believe in that.
Yeah. Mariana Flynn, thank you so much for joining us here on the show today.
You're very welcome,
The Andrew and Troy Show on OX Gold.
And we're going to be driving you home.